above. These reasons include, but are not limited to, centering LGBTQIA+ people, acknowledging the gender spectrum, and aligning in solidarity with Latinx and Latine communities. The following names are pseudonyms: Mark, Susan X, Kay, Marina, and Violet. Last, before you listen, you might want to know that Nervous is not a traditional trauma narrative, but there are traumatic events described in the essays. 381 Years contains primary source accounts of violence from war and colonization in the Philippines. Bayanihan tells stories of suicide attempts and suicidal ideation, and Broken Water recounts violent delusions about pregnancy and birth. The point of this collection is to allow pain to surface, but also to swim with strong currents of love and humor and joy. Introduction. We are nervous beings in nervous nations at an increasingly nervous time. I wrote this book for those of us who have felt crazy and alone, for those of us who have been told to forget about the past, to stop being weak, and to swallow our pain, for all of us with a knowing body, for Babaylan who remember a time before silence, for pearls in their shells, seeking conditions to shine. My story is just one ripple in an emerging ecosystem of interdependence where we don't have to bear generational pain alone. This is a story I'm not supposed to tell. I'm supposed to continue a lineage of silence, be wordless in pain, resilient and productive, a walking American dream. But my body speaks in a language of grief and suffering and with words of longing, liberation, and love. I have always been a nervous person. I startle at the sound of my name. I enter rooms searching for exits. I worry about being invisible while constantly afraid of becoming seen. Perhaps because I have been so nervous, I am also a person in pain. My hands smolder and my wrists feel riddled with broken glass. On any given day, my nerves are either drowned or lit on fire. Nerves might make you think of fainting rooms, smelling salts, and frail maidens fanning pale faces. Nerves make me think of machetes and murder, survival and silence, the sibilance of stories untold. For a long time, I didn't talk about my pain because I wanted to hide it, like you might hide soiled panties or some other mortifying mistake. It wasn't until I read Audre Lorde's The Cancer Journals that it occurred to me I didn't have to be so silent and afraid. I started writing nervous after being diagnosed with central sensitivity syndrome, an umbrella term for various conditions affecting the nervous system, including fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndrome, and chronic pain from central sensitization. I was a new parent learning to raise my first and only child, while also embarking on a journey to understand the pain I'd carried for most of my life. Years before this, I was also diagnosed with peripheral neuralgia, dystonia, mild scoliosis, generalized anxiety disorder, social anxiety disorder, and complex post-traumatic stress disorder, CPTSD. I had found these diagnoses affirming, but I didn't yet know what lay at the root. What traumas had disrupted my nervous system to yield such pain and to give rise to these comorbid conditions? And how could I keep my child from a similar fate? This collection traces my journey of asking questions and finding answers, breaking silence, and becoming seen. Though pain and trauma are highly individualized experiences, and by definition can make us feel cut off from the rest of the world, they are the reality for the majority of us.